Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings for Nottingham Forest 2, Everton 2. A disappointing draw at the City ground. Yeah, very disappointing not to get 3 points today. But if you don't try and get 3 points, then you're probably not going to get 3 points. Anyway, I've done all that in the instant match reaction. Check that out after this. If you want to know about the game. John Pickford didn't have loads to do. Well, had to make a couple of good saves. Certainly, obviously saved one for their first one, pushed it out, which Brendan Johnson put in. Second one didn't really have much of a chance. I thought he was decent. Thought his catching spot on. In the crowd the penalty boxes at times. His punching was spot on. His kicking was a bit iffy at times. Yeah, did all right. I still think he could probably do better when he pushes out, and I don't necessarily mean the goal. I mean, there's one in the second half where I'd actually like to see him push it out for a corner rather than push it out back into traffic if he could. But I don't really think that's a case for the goal. Or not that I don't. Well, some people will. Some people will. You can always do better, but there you go. I've given him 6.5. Seamus Coleman, yeah, was fine. Did okay, considering the manager said he's been carrying a knee injury. I know Nathan Patterson played for the under-21s today. So he's been involved in a couple of games in the last 48 hours or whatever, so that's good. Be good to have him back just to get that bit more energy. Seamus never really lets you down. He's one of them, isn't he? Do you know what? I think he should have had a penalty. Sean Dyche thinks he should have had a penalty. So he's still got the energy, still getting into the box. I've given him a 6 because obviously he can't do everything, can he? He can't do everything. He's still who he is. He's still got the punt drive to run through brick walls for us. But again, it's just Seamus Coleman's still playing lots of games of football. And you know, we thought we'd dealt with this. Not that he's an issue, but for a better team, you want more. Give him a 6. On the other side, Ben Godfrey coming from Michalenko. Obviously, said apparently been ill. Bit of a shaky start for him, I thought. Certainly, there was one early on, a header that he had no need to put it out for a corner, and so. But I thought he grew into the game, and I thought he did what he always does, which is just put himself about a bit. He's an athlete more than an actual football player. I'm convinced of that. You know, he's fast and he's strong, and I thought he improved with the game. I still think. Listen, as I said, I think he's more of an athlete than he is a footballer. And that's very true of a lot of players these days. And I thought he grew. I thought he grew into the game because I think, this is a lad who broke his leg in the first game of the season and has played a couple of times since Manchester City away, and you know, he's had very limited opportunities since the break anyway. So and I think he got better. He's not an ideal replacement. I mean, what does it say about Van Agri if he's playing left back and, you know, Van Agri's on the bench again? He was supposed to be backup left back, but I thought he got better as the game went on. He doesn't really give you very much going forward, which is obviously a massive problem. Yeah, I've given him a 6. Tarkowski was fine. Thought he was fine. Dealt with Chris Wood quite well. Always in the mix when there's something going off. His booking was pathetic. He does not touch the lad. That lad was diving around all day. I was going to call him something begin with S and ending with House then, but I won't. His booking was nonsense. His booking was absolutely nonsense. But I thought he was fine. I've given him a 6.5. Michael Keane, I think he got sucked for... I honestly haven't got a clue why Michael Keane's playing. I don't understand why Yerry Mina's not on the side if Conor Cody isn't in there. Yerry Mina is our best defender. Said this, and if you're putting up... Unless he's decided Michael Keane's going to come in for 100 games, then, alright, whatever. But Yerry Mina on a game-by-game basis, for me, is our best centre-back. Never mind the best out the rest. He's our best centre-back. We just know he just can't stay fit when he plays. Well, he's sitting on the bench, and I would put him in the team. Simple as any day ahead of Michael Keane. Michael Keane, to me, is not a good player. Has never been a good player, and has had moments where he has been has stood out and been okay and got in like the England squad and stuff. Michael Keane is definitely not long term. No, sorry, Michael Keane is not long term. So listen, yeah, I think if you want to win games of football, you play your best players, and Yerry Mina is much better than Michael Keane. I think their first goal, he gets dragged out of position. The big hole then is behind them. They play a nice 1-2 into that hole, take the shot, and it ends up being a goal. Second goal, he's just standing there, doing nothing, twiddling his thumbs. I just don't think he's a very good player. Never have thought he was a good player, by the way. I honestly don't understand why he's still at the football club. But he is at the football club and the manager's playing him. But I thought he was poor for both goals. I've given him a 5. I just don't think he should be in the football team. But listen, the manager knows him. Good. Great. Good for you. Into the midfield, Doucoure and Iwobi. I thought he was our man of the match today by a country mile. He had so much energy in the midfield. He was nicking the ball. I think he won 13 of his 10 ground duels. I think he was head and shoulders the best player on the pitch today. I know Brendan Johnson scored the 2 goals. You get man of the match, blah, blah, blah. But I think Garner was the man of the match if you really look at the game properly. He was the best player in the midfield. And as I said, he nicks the ball, he gets you going, he gets you driving forward. He loves playing higher up the pitch. I've always said this about him. Or can play higher up the pitch. And we've seen that with Senegal in the summer. In the winter. In the World Cup, funny enough. Listen, he has his moments. We know he has his moments. He has these moments of, like he did against Arsenal. We know he does, but he's still a very, very good player, and it's why he plays week in, week out. You've got to put players around him who will maybe understand the situation better, but that's just one of those things. He's got a lot of football intelligence. I know he does stupid things, but he has got a lot of football intelligence. So I think he was our man of the match today by quite easily. So I've given him a 7.75. There you go. Put that in your stats. I just thought, I thought he was miles better than everyone else. Onana, I thought he was garbage today, to be honest. He had just half as many touches as Doucoure and Iwobi and Doucoure did, which is, for a centre midfielder, to have half as many touches as the 2 players playing around you is woeful, basically. Is woeful. So I don't know what's been up with him the last couple of games. He's just looked completely off it. Don't know. Maybe it's this knee injury he's been carrying or whatever. But he was poor today. He just wasn't in the game. And I understand this physical presence. That's why he stays on the pitch, because there's physical presence. But poor today. So I've given him a 5. Doucoure, thought first half, but was done really, really well for us. Was driving us forward, got the goal, and then makes a mistake like he did for the goal. And I know people go, there's still loads to do. It's where you lose the ball. You can't lose the ball there. You can't lose the ball in the old transition area. You just can't. The minute you lose that ball, and we've already committed basically the entire of our midfield going forward, you're in massive trouble. You're in massive trouble. And he loses it where he loses it. They break, and the next minute the ball's in the back of the net. So I'll still give him a 7 because he got us a goal, and I thought he played well in the first half. But you just can't do that with the players we have. You just can't, because it's how many times have we conceded goals now because of that? How many times have we conceded by losing the ball in transition? It's more than anyone else in the Premier League. We just have this terrible habit of just giving the opposition the ball and they score, basically, when we're trying to break. And if Doucoure is a little bit more careful there with his pass, then we break and they don't score. But you give opportunities to any team, and in the Premier League, that's what can happen, except for us, of course, where it never happens. Alex Iwobi, yeah, worked hard, had a couple of decent late runs towards the end to get us up the pitch. Again, he stuck out wide, so maybe he isn't creating stuff. Maybe in a little bit more of a flexible team, he comes in a little bit or comes off the wings. But he did now and again today. But not quite enough for me. So I've given him 6.75. There you go. Wasn't terrible. Did some good things, but played again round sort of like the fringes of the game. Demarai Gray. Sorry, let me do Dwight McNeil first. Dwight McNeil put a shift in today. I think there's been a definite improvement on his levels since he came in. Since Dyche came in, I think his levels of work rate have gone up massively, and that might just be because he's playing every game. He's played all 6 games, hasn't he? So his work rate's gone well higher. Sean Dyche knows maybe how to get more out of him by just, sticking him on the left, but then he's getting more confidence and he's growing. He's working really hard. You can see that. Can't take that away from him. There's still, again, not a lot of end product. He did have one shot today that the keeper tipped over. Very much like he had one shot on against Arsenal that the keeper saved. Still not a hell of a lot of end product, but he is working hard. I'll give him that, which obviously is the bare minimum. So I've given him a 7. Yeah, the levels of commitment from him are much higher since Dyche come in. So Dyche has obviously unlocked something within him, but he's still not creating, still not scoring. He'll never be that kind of player for me. But clearly Sean Dyche knows how to use him better. Maybe if we had a Demarai Gray in the team, then maybe we'd get those. It's not his fault, by the way. Assists aren't a real thing, by the way, because it's not a real stat. You can't have a stat that someone else has to complete for you. That just doesn't work. But I think if he has a Demarai Gray in the team, then he'll create more chances for a Demarai Gray. So he's got better. He's got better. I'll give him that. I still don't think he was a good signing, because ultimately he doesn't score goals and he doesn't really have many assists. So it's still not a good signing. But when you've got these players, you want them to improve, and I think he has improved. He has improved a little bit. Demarai Gray obviously played from the start today up front. Different challenge. In fact, he probably should have started on Wednesday, because the way we played on Wednesday would have suited him a lot more maybe than today did, or certainly would have suited him more than it suited Mopai on Wednesday. So he did all right. Wasn't brilliant. Obviously got his goal. He got his goal. Obviously a penalty, very good penalty. Didn't really do too much. Did a little bit of running, but not loads. He massively frustrates me how he how he slows the game down when he's got the ball in front of him and he's got all that pace. But what I would say is, and thank you to Lila for reminding me, he should have made it 3-1 at half-time, just before half-time. That's a big chance for me. That's like the chance at Brentford early on the season. The Brentford one was a little bit more, was a bit, was a one-on-one, which he should have scored to win us that game. But that today, you just smashed that into the opposite corner. And we score and we go 3-1 up and we're winning that game. And they're the big moments in games, aren't they? They're the big moments. So he disappointed me from that, and he disappointed me from the way he slowed. I'll never understand how players with pace slowed the game down. I'll never understand it. I get this thing of like slowing the game down so you can speed it up. But when you've only got grass ahead of you, why do you need to slow it down? I just wish I used to, when I play football, I didn't have pace. But if there's grass in front of me, I'm running into it. I'm not slowing the game down to allow the opposition a chance. I don't get that. If there's grass in front of you and you've got pace, you run into the grass. You run into the space. And then you'll have room to I'll never understand that. I'll never get that. Never, ever get that. Personally. So, yeah. I've given him a 6. That might be being generous, but playing up front on your own is difficult. Subs, I'm not giving them anything. They weren't on the pitch long enough. So, there you go. But I'm disappointed by that. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. I'm just disappointed that we never won the game, because I think at half time it was there to be won and we just didn't go for it second half. There you go. Just to someone in the comments, assists aren't stats. They're just not real stats. Ask people who actually work in the industry. Assists aren't real stats. Because you can't control if someone scores. It's chances created now. That's the stat they use. That's the proper stat they use. Assists aren't real. The assists are to make players look better when they go, he's got 4 goals and 5 assists. They're not real. They're not real things anymore. It's chances created. There you go. So, in the real world. So, there you go. Disappointing. On to Brentford next week. Tough game. But we'll see. There you go. And Everton plays. Stop having big fights with people, because you're all getting booked, and what's the point? So there you go. Anyway, go and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I certainly will. I'm going to walk the dog or something, because there's not really anything else going on, is there? Yeah. Might go and watch the end of Elvis, because I started watching last night, and then guess what? She fell asleep, and it's always something, isn't it? There you go. I'll see you later. Fan award tomorrow. Toffee TV premiere. Link is in the description. QR code is on the screen if you want to become a member of Toffee TV premiere. Well worth it. Cheaper than a coffee and a pint for a month. I know Everton are doom and gloom, but we have a good laugh over there every day. Every day we have a good laugh. So it's one big therapy session. One big therapy session where we all have a bit of a laugh, and we end up just talking about other stuff. There you go. See you later.